Good evening, Patrick Strausbaugh here again for our current event, 5-minute video. Lucky you. So, I am going to go over the ghost ship fire. This occurred in December of 2016, last year. Essentially in Oakland. It was in Oakland, California, and 36 people lost their lives in this fire. Ghost Ship was the name for the rave, or the place, the gathering for many people that did artwork and things like that. So it was kind of what you might refer to as an artistic community and a warehouse that had converted some living spaces that were makeshift and essentially like a hoarder type residence, as it was described. Um, so this was very interesting to me on several different levels. Um, because the news media that it was reported by is Mercury News, which, if you look at the headline on the web page, it was, real fancy script like old time newspapers were. And then you kind of read into the article, and basically they were saying that the Oakland firefighters were there in 2014, so 2 years before the incident occurred. They were dancing with them at a rave because they had been invited back, and no one said anything about the violations then. They also had an arsonist that was running around the area, and they lit a couch on fire that was right outside, and no one ever investigated any further. So that also ties into our investigation of an arson fire and the cord that went to a shed. So did they have the right then to go into the warehouse and investigate inside when it was clearly an arson fire on the couch that was sitting outside? So that's what this news media is perpetuating, that they didn't do anything about it at the time, and therefore they should have. Well, basically the only other people that they interviewed then in this news article was the owners, and then the one acting fire chief now that said he'd look into these allegations and that they'd be punished should this be true. But none of the I guess the reports can be justified by any of the documents that are factual, and who was on duty that day and what they did and what occurred and what didn't occur. The only thing that they say is that they came in the fire truck, or they came and danced and they had fire department shirts on, which there leads into the other thing about being on duty all the time, and some of these guys running around in fire department t-shirts all the time. So this is why we don't do that. How it's relative to our department is we have several like strip malls that have these large warehouse spaces that can be rented out like that, and then we used to have the Night of Fright fire, or Night of Fright, which was a haunted house, and we also had another one in our neighboring community of Mason that was a haunted house. Now the one in Deerfield ended up burning, and it was because of arson. But these seasonal operations like that, when they bring in the Halloween Express and all the other seasonal stores, and how all these strip malls get overloaded and things like that. We haven't had any problems with living spaces, but we have had several different areas that were converted into spaces that they weren't meant to be. And some of the outdoor and some of the bars and restaurants that have live entertainment that don't do it necessarily within code. So then it becomes our job that if we see these things, that we have to take action. And we can't just be nice, even though I love public relations, and that's what we are public servants, and we want to create harmonious relationships. We can't let something that's going to be a clear violation, like safety exits and things like that, or pyrotechnics, or electrical hazards, overcome our better judgment, and therefore we need to take the actions and make sure that it's shut down and the people that are safe. So, thanks. Talk to you again. Bye.